to my party. We're just getting started. A life is a dream or a nightmare.
Good morning, everyone. Hopefully you guys are ready for the weekend. If I get a sound check, that would be super duper. I'd appreciate it. Let me know how I am coming through 5x5, something like that. YouTube is notorious for being a little bit slow on the sound, but we'll get there. We will get there. We're going to turn that banner off. I think we're actually kind of set up and ready to go right now. Oddly enough, it says there's only 2 people in Rumble, and no one has even posted something. I think it's something about the title that people aren't. It's just not dramatic enough for them. It's not prepper enough for them, but it's actually very serious. It's almost as if they want to ignore it, but that's okay. A little admin note. We were able to get the money off to Catitude yesterday, $907. It is on its way. It should be there in 2 days. Zelle completely failed us, but I mean, it's technology. So what do you expect to happen? All right, so I'm going to go on over to the YouTube side, and it looks like Bradley Collins is first. Jordan O'Neill's number 2. Brian Smith, you are deterred. Good morning, Cool Colt. I don't know why you are so surprised. Good morning, Rose. Good morning, Sal. And, of course, good morning, Catitude. What do we got here? Let's see. Yeah, that's what we got. So the room is slowly building because I've got 16 in there, so we can actually get started. I normally wait until I have at least 10 to get started, but hey, that's great. This is good stuff. Okay, so if we roll over to the oh man, and I gotta apologize up front. My nose is a little weird today, but we're all human. It is what it is. All right. Good morning. Oops. Good to see you. West Virginia Pappy. Ian, good to see you. Good to see you. Thank you, Rose, for the 5x5. All right. Rolling over to the YouTube poll question is, what is the most crucial step in creating a family emergency plan for preppers? Identifying escape routes, stocking up on supplies, assigning family roles, and setting a meeting point. Currently, assigning family roles is winning at 42%. All right, so you know what? Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to close this. I got to do something here real quick, guys. We're going to refresh this because I don't. It says Rumble. It says there's 3 in there now. But if you're on the Rumble side, put something in the chat, please, so that we know that the algorithm is working properly on that side. Also, there's some weird stuff going on with Rumble right now, but it's not going to affect us. If you're having trouble on the Rumble side, good morning, Light Raider. Good to see you, my friend. If you're having trouble on the Rumble side, just roll on over to the YouTube side. Let's see here. As a matter of fact, here for my Rumblers, in case you're having a problem, just run right over there, and that will get you right onto the live feed. Okay, so when we talk about a family emergency plan, the first thing we have to do is talk about creating the family emergency plan, because this is one of those things in the preparedness realm where people are they're just slacking. I know that there's a handful of you out there that do have one, because we've talked about this in the past, but only like in the blurb sense. So today we're going to talk about it in depth, a little bit more detail, because there are so many out there, and for me to say, yes, here's step 1, it's not going to work, because it's got to work for you and only you. So creating a family emergency plan is a crucial step in ensuring the safety and preparedness of your loved ones during unexpected events. The process, let's do this. Boop. The process begins with gathering all family members to discuss the importance of being prepared. Explain the types of emergencies that could occur, such as natural disasters, fires, or medical emergencies, and emphasize the goal is to keep everyone safe and to stay connected. Once everyone understands the importance, you can move forward with developing the plan. Now, as usual, guys, I read some stuff, you type some stuff, I talk about the stuff that you typed. And with that said, there's 3 major components to this particular statement. Gathering all family members. Got to get them together, guys. That's one of the biggest problems we have in America today, is getting back to the kitchen table. Discuss types of emergencies. Have an agenda. Actually sit down and say, guys, I want to talk to you about this. It's not a meeting, it's a gathering. Emphasize safety and staying connected. This is the why, guys. This is the why. This is almost if you follow the 5 W's: who, what, when, where, how, and why. That's actually 6, because that will be, everybody throws the H in there. It's like H is for execution, how we're going to do it. But if gathering of family members, that's the who. Discuss types of emergencies. What? Emphasize where are we going to do it? At the kitchen table. That's the where. Emphasize safety and family connected. That's the why. Okay. So if you guys follow that philosophy, it cannot let you down. Jordan says, my family is hopeless. Unfortunately, my husband believes the economy will self-correct before anything that would lead to a bug out. My kids freeze in emergencies. You could probably get around that if you bring the kids in, dad will probably follow. But if you can get them, maybe do some situational exercises, freeze in emergencies. Muscle memory is key to reacting correctly in times of stress. So, if you freeze during emergencies, this could be a problem. But I don't think that in the particular case of economic collapse, there's any reason for the kids to freeze in place. I think that they would just have to understand that, hey, something's wrong. I don't know what it is. And the plan is to everybody go here. I think that the kids, no matter what their age is, can figure that one out. So I would probably use that as a good plan of attack to get them to think about things. Oops says, let's see. What is this? Rose, I had a lot of girlfriends that disappeared, and I might be a daddy. I didn't know it. Right. They all ran away. Let's spend some time with Oops, and then they run away. I don't think that has anything to do with being a daddy. I think that has everything to do with, well, you know what I'm talking about. All right, let's see here. We're going to go ahead and switch back to this one right here. And we're going to, since you've put nothing in the text, West Virginia Pappy, omnipresent on the Rumble side. Appreciate your support, my friend. It says there are 9 people in the Rumble. Currently, YouTube is winning 17-9. Going to go ahead and check the chat here. And the question is, what is the most crucial step in creating a family emergency plan for preppers? And currently, assigning family roles is winning at 43%, followed by stocking up on supplies and setting a meeting point at 29%. 0% for identifying escape routes. I'm not a dude. I think I was nice. Then how are you making babies? Did I read that right? I had a lot of girlfriends. That's funny. Let's see here. Well, it's good to know that you're not a dude. Oops. I guess that's all part of the community thing. So more power to you. Let's see here. It is silent majority over here with me. Yes, West Virginia Pappy is running the chat on Rumble, guys. He is large and in charge. Okay, let's see here. I'm not a bad dude. Oh, I see. I should learn to read. Okay, let's dose up. Let's get some coffee in us. You're not a bad dude. Got you. Gotcha. Oops. All right. I don't know. I kind of enjoyed the idea of, you being not a dude for a second, but now I know you're a dude. So now there's no more fun. All right. So Tuck says, Jordan O'Neill, plan for more localized emergencies like injuries, fire, bad weather, common to your area, etc. I gotcha. Yeah, I mean it's a good place to start. It's an excellent place to start instead of like fire and brimstone. Just starting small, because the small problems, if you can solve the small problems, a lot of those solved small problems will solve big problems as well. All right, so let's see here. Still 18-8. Rumble or YouTube is winning, and let's see. So the next thing you need to do is assign roles and responsibilities to each family member. You got to give them jobs. You got to give them responsibilities. You need to determine who will be responsible for what tasks, such as who will grab the emergency kit or who will be in charge of the pets, who will make sure the younger children are accounted for. And this helps ensure that everyone knows their duties and can act quickly without confusion. You need to clearly outline the responsibilities in writing and review them regularly. This practice will help everyone feel more confident and prepared. And the key points from that one is that you need to assign roles and responsibilities. In a crisis, people who have a job generally remember it's okay, it's going down. What? Oh, it's my job to get the first aid kit. I got to get the first aid kit, and I got to put it like right here. Or it's my job to make sure that the dogs are fed, or it's my job to make sure that the kids are all accounted for. Just like I was just saying there a second ago. And giving them that job gives them value. It shows them that they're part of the situation. And it also helps them psychologically in the long run. So I think that we need to make sure that we do that. Jordan says, my kids do know the tornado drill to the basement, and that is where the prep pantry is. So they have everything to be comfortable. The hub stays asleep or sits in the garage waiting for it. Ouch. Wow. Sorry to hear that. I'm sorry to hear that, but yeah. Let's see here. And don't get me wrong, because there's been many times where the property in North Carolina is in Hurricane Alley, but also they have tornadoes. There's been many tornadoes that have ripped through the town that I'm near, and it's like I've just kind of like, the alarm will go off and I'll go outside and I'll look around. And if I don't like sense that there's any real danger, but the sky is black, I'll go back to bed, because in my mind, it's like, it's going to get me or it's not going to get me. I'm not going to live in fear of this thing that I cannot control. And many times can't even run away from. Yeah. And has anybody ever tried to see a tornado at night? It is almost impossible to do. Looks like Laser showed up. Good morning. Good morning. Let's see here. West Virginia Pappy says, make it as enjoyable as possible for the kids to keep the stress down. Absolutely true. And good morning. A Little Dry Creek Ranch. Morning from Arizona. I don't recognize you, but you are definitely welcome. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. I am here Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. Eastern time. Rose says, mine's not a child anymore, just a big kid. Well, then they need more responsibility, Rose. So put it on their shoulders, put it on paper, put it on shoulders. Say, I expect you to ... You'd be surprised. Even some of the slackers of the world understand what a responsibility is, and they don't want to let mom or dad down. And if they do, well, then I don't know, man. I don't know. For lack of better words, maybe they need to be outside on tornado watch. Something. Let's see here. Catitude says, only see the tornadoes at night when lightning flashes. Never can tell where it is going. Exactly. There's no way to know. So just being able to find some kind of shelter that is tornado resistant is probably going to be a good idea. The property in North Carolina, the water table's too high, so you can't have a basement. I'd literally have to build an above ground tornado-proof bunker, which doesn't sound like a bad thing. But in today's economy, even concrete is expensive. Okay, guys, let's go ahead. We got 20 people in here. We got 15. We got 20 people on YouTube. We got 15 on Rumble. Do me a favor. Let's wake up the algorithm. And what are we at here? We're only 10 minutes in. It seems as if like it's just lagging. It's like, this is Friday. Everything is a chore on Friday. Did you know that I think it's that people only do 20% of the work that they're supposed to be doing, like work hours wise, as work balanced with hours on Fridays. They only do 20% of what they're supposed to be doing. But yes, guys, do me a favor, put a 1 in the chat, wake up the algorithm. We're not gonna use the country's name in vain just yet. We're only 10 minutes in. So yeah, let's do this here. West Virginia Pappy says on Rumble, very few tornadoes here with the mountains. Yes, absolutely. True. Very true. Okay, so hopefully we're waking things up a little bit. You guys, I don't know if you guys are sitting there listening to learn, or if I mean, very few of you have much to say. Maybe it's just a Friday. Maybe we just need to sit back and just drink coffee and just like stare out a window. Like, wow, look at that bird. There's a tree. Oh, there we go. Okay, so let's go ahead and move on to the third one. I have a feeling today is going to be a short one. No one wants to interact, and that is a-okay with me because I got stuff to do. All right, so the next thing we're going to talk about is it's actually a vital part of your family emergency plan, and that is creating a communication strategy. We have talked about this many, many times. The communication strategy, a communication plan within the household that is very simple to start. Establish a primary and secondary method of communication, such as cell phones and a landline. That's kind of funny. And choose an out of town relative or friend as a contact point. Ensure everyone has this person's contact information and knows how to reach them. In case local communication channels are down, having an out of town contact can help relay messages and confirm everyone's safety. Make sure each family member carries a list of important phone numbers at all times. Now, this is we do everything with this. We have a list of important phone numbers all the time on these guys right here. But we also need to think about, different things like main points, like creating a communication strategy. We've got to create a communication strategy so that we can actually stay connected during moments of crisis. It's very important. I find it odd that many times people won't call most of their relatives in just regular times, like just, hey, how you doing, blah blah blah. But when someone in their circle of life passes away, they're automatically on the phone. Oh my God, did you hear about Donnie? You know, and they talk for half an hour, talk for an hour. Oh, I can't believe it. What's the plan? Blah, blah, blah. All these things that they should have been doing the whole time, like talking to their own family members about when things go bad and what are we going to do and what's the plan. But you need to create a communication strategy so that you are in constant contact with your family and loved ones. Another thing you do is establish a primary and secondary contact methods. Now, obviously, this will always be this is the era Star Trek did it for us, guys. This is our whatever that noise is. That's our tricorder. That's our communicator. That's our little star thingy. In fact, it's now on our wrist. We make a phone call. That is our primary means of communications. It always will be. But in crisis events, what happens is these things get overloaded. You can't make a phone call, and you're better off trying to use the digital piece of this device, which is texting, which takes very little data and almost always goes through, unless you live in the middle of nowhere or you use T-Mobile. That's right. That was a dick punch for T-Mobile. You've got to have that. And then obviously a secondary method, cups and strings, get in your car and drive, a ham radio. There's about I won't say 1,000, but we'll say there's a handful of ways to have a secondary contact method. And then choosing an out-of-town point of contact. Now, this only works if so the general idea behind the out-of-town point of contact or contact point is that you can call them and talk to them, and they're going to relay information to you about your current situation, about anybody else who's called them, who's checked in, things like that. Yes, Sally's okay. Grandma made it to the house, blah, 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 right? But here's the problem. If this isn't working, or if they don't have a ham radio, then, you literally, it doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense. So you need to make sure that out-of-town contact has both the primary and secondary means of communications. Otherwise, it's useless to have an out-of-town contact. All right, I'm going to go to the chat right now. I saw a bunch of people put some stuff in there. It's appreciated. Tux says, sorry, brother, doing breakfast and listening. I got you. Let Raider says, I am intensively listening. Intensely listening. I love it. Let's see here. And then Oops says, I'm not a Keurig or a pod kind of guy. Percolator or Mr. Coffee. That's the kind I enjoy myself. I don't like the Keurigs or the pods because they leave the powder is so fine that it actually makes its way through the filtering system and into the coffee, and then you end up with this bitter taste. But yes, Mr. Coffee. Jordan says, where are we at here? Let's see. Jordan says, I like your videos. Dry Creek Ranch. Oh, Dry Creek Ranch makes their own videos. Nice. I'll have to check it out. I like your videos. My family homestead is between Heber and Slow Low. Keep them coming. I've been looking for a homestead channel for our climate in mind. Nice. I love it. Rose says, family cross conversation here. Catitude says, I saw too many videos of Keurig tubes molding gross. Well, the thing is your coffee maker will do the same thing. That hose that it uses to suck it up into the heating element and then push it out, that noise in your Mr. Coffee has the same problem. But you can just clean that. If you just clean your coffee pot, if you treat your coffee pot the same way that you treat your drinking glasses, you'll have no problems. About once a month, you get a little bit of vinegar there, you get some warm water, and you run it through about 3 or 4 times, and no problems. Let's see here. What do we got here? All Dry Creek Ranch. Where are we at here? What you think about old school CB communications for family communications? You're not a member, but I'm going to put you up there because I think that this is smart. Guys, I love CB radios. Let me tell you why. Because you can go to almost any yard sale, almost any swap meet, almost any flea market and buy one of these CB radios that somebody took out of their car because they initially put it in because they thought it was going to do something and it was pretty cool. And you can buy them for like $5 and they work perfectly. And you get 40 channels and it's all pre-tuned. And then all you got to do is buy a damn antenna and hook it to some kind of power source. It's a 12-volt radio. It's nothing. It's so simple. I need to go and get the radio. I bought a CB radio at a yard sale like 2 months ago, and it's sitting on a shelf in my office in North Carolina, and it's crazy. It's crazy. Dina says the YouTube ain't letting me comment this morning. I had to come over here. I got you, Deanna. I'm sorry. I don't know why. I don't know why it wouldn't. What have you done? But yeah, the CB radio. I think CB radio is awesome because I want to say those things put out some serious wattage. You can also still buy handheld. I've got a handheld CB radio someplace here. It's actually battery powered. And it's not like charging battery. Like you pull the pack out, you open it up, and you put in a bunch of AA batteries. You close it up. Roger, breaker 19. It works, and it's a great way to get information if you live near a highway because all of the truck drivers still use CB radios. That's their primary means of communication to talk to other truck drivers. So I think it's an awesome idea. I would love to get one and put it on a big old antenna, but you can buy those magnetic antennas, stick it to your car, hook that sucker up, wire it in, and have it inside your car. You can create a base station at your house, and you can do all of those things. And if you've got if you've got a base station at your house, running off a 12-volt system, you could actually could do the conversion. I don't recommend doing it, going from 120 to 12, but it can be done. But you can do lots of things with it. West Virginia Pappy says where we got here. He says, I got a Cobra CB with a K40 antenna. Said not really legal, but you can use a linear amp to boost transmission. Yes, you can do some stuff to these radios. Hey, West Virginia Pappy, what is your Cobra rated at? I always forget. I want to say it's like 50 amp, or I'm sorry, 50 watt. But I can never remember what the max for CBs is. But yeah, I mean, $5, guys, $5 for these radios. You can put one in your car. You can put one at your house and create a base station for almost nothing. It's probably more expensive to buy the damn antennas than it is to buy the radio. That's how cheap and effective they are. Little Dry Creek Ranch. Awesome comment. Thank you very much. Make sure you subscribe. Let's see. Big Prepper says, how old school. Smoke signals? No, we don't need to do that, but those CB radios are awesome. Let's see here. Cat says, I still have my grandpa's percolators with glass handle on top. Yes. Also, I love the Catitude says pigeons. Pigeons are actually still useful. But we still have the cowboy percolator. We're going to be using those to make coffee at Prep Stock. So we're going to bring those. We're going to put them. We're going to get some coals, and we're going to actually get the coals going in the morning, and we're going to start percolating coffee like right off the bat. Let's see. Keurig is waste coffee. The whole idea behind the Keurig and the pods and whatever, guys, is for convenience. Having a cup of coffee instantly. That's what it is. That's why it tastes the way it tastes. Okay. That's why we drink it, because of convenience. That is it. Catitude says, nice. Oops. I use a French press. I got you. Yeah. We have a French press as well, because listen, guys, 1 is none, 2 is 1 for the important things like drinking water, firearms that must protect your life every time, eye protection, and coffee. Let's see here. Thank God for percolator drip instant coffee. I've got the instant coffee as well. What do we got here? Big Prepper says, yes. Let's see here. This should be good. Cool Colt says, facts are facts. You may be just taking care of what's with you at the moment and be willing and able to move forward alone and be held back or slowed down by leaving all behind. Yes, in some situations, you will definitely have to think about, moving forward without certain people. And that's a hard thing to think about. My socialist friend Carter would be like, oh, that's not right. Because you're always pulling at the heartstrings, but there are certain people that just will not survive. And if you want to, this may be a problem for you. What we got here? Brian Smez, who could always be a WHO could always be a homing pigeon. Okay. If your power ever goes out for good, brass bells will come back into style. I got you. Tuck says we need radios. Until then, we have set meeting spots, and on rare occasions, we're both not home, yet separated. We discuss meeting spots for that outing. The other thing too, guys, is nobody ever. So there's something called a dead drop, and this was actually part of the Cold War spying initiative, and what a dead drop is just a location that most people won't mess with, and sometimes it's in plain sight, but there's normally like a notebook or a pad or a way to write something, and you literally you could set this as your tertiary meeting point, and then so you show up, okay. And then you see someone, and you don't have to put names in it either. You could just assign numbers to people or nicknames to people. So Junebug, Junebug was here. Junebug went to our favorite place, or Junebug went to where we first met, something like that. Or Junebug is just around the corner watching you right now. Okay. It could be anything, right? And so when Danny Boy shows up and Junebug's nowhere to be found, he opens up the dead drop and he sees there's a message for him in there. And now he has a place to go to find this person. Okay. That way, because sometimes just staying stationary can be dangerous. Movement normally equals safety. If we think about the analogy of shoot, move, communicate, movement normally means safety. So something to think about. It's a little bit out there on the fringe, but it does actually work. All right, let's see here. You guys are cranking up on these chats. I love this. Where are we at here? You could always get a homing pigeon. Where are we at here? Pigeons are just a free meal to the redneck. Years of training just to end up on a dinner plate. I don't know if I'd eat a pigeon, man. I don't know that's going to taste very good. My stepmom is new. This is Jordan. She says, my stepmom is the new broadcaster of the family. She keeps everyone up to speed. During bad weather, everyone calls her for news because they assume we have power outages or cell signal outages. Got you. Bad girl. Let's see here. When I was coast to coast trucking, CB was a great source. Exactly. And those rigs, man, they boost those rigs. You can hear those things for 100 freaking miles, man. It's crazy. Let's see here. Oops says I've had one in every vehicle I've ever owned. Let's see here. Tuck says, when I get a better vehicle, it's getting a CB ASAP. Well, I mean, that's what I'm saying. Tuck, it's $5. Go to the swap meet. Buy one for $5. Okay. And if it's like, do you mind if I test this? All you got to do is take it to your car and touch two wires to the frickin' your positive and negative on your battery and turn the knob on and see if it goes. Then you're probably okay. Let's see here. Where are we at here? Light Raider says, my dad talks South Carolina to Nova Scotia on CB sideband. Love it. Little Creek's, I've already subscribed a couple weeks back. Little Creek, male or female, let me know. I know this is, I'm going to, you know what? Hold on a second here. Hold on. Because, I talk a good game, but I've got to, a little creek. Oh, little dry creek ranch, little dry creek ranch, enter and give me a YouTube. Let's see here. I'm looking for you on YouTube, Dry Creek Ranch Master Plan Community. I'm going to have to search for you on YouTube because the algorithm doesn't seem to like you. Let's go to YouTube real quick. And we are almost running up on that half hour. Let's go ahead and boom. Yeah, I don't normally watch other preppers, but it sounds like you got your trash in one bag. So we're going to go and hit that subscribe, and then we're going to hit that all button for notifications. Subscribed. Everybody should go to a Dry Little Creek Ranch and see what they've got to say. I mean, worst thing that happens is you find out it's not for you and you unsubscribe. It's not a big deal. All right, let's see here. Ian says the legal, I'm going to put you up there, Ian. Max legal output for CB is 4 watts or 12 watts. I got you. Good to know. Where are we at here? I like dead drop idea. Tuck says Magnum 44 permanent markers can work for dead drops in certain situations, as can caution ribbon. All right, let's see here. Ian says the European CBs can also transmit on FM as well as AM. That's interesting. That is very, very interesting. Because transmitting on FM in the United States is, you need a license for that, and the FCC does not hand those out. Okay, so going back to the poll, what is the most crucial step in creating a family emergency plan for preppers? Currently winning is assign family roles at 44%. Setting a meeting point is now 31%, and stocking up supplies is 25%. And no one seems to care about identifying escape routes, which seems to be relevant. All right, so let's go ahead and move on to the next thing. Let's see here. Let's do this and go boom. Identify safe meeting places, both inside and outside your home. Select a location in your home where everyone should go in case of an emergency, such as a basement during a tornado. Additionally, choose a spot outside your home, like a neighbor's house, where everyone can meet if they need to evacuate. For larger scale emergencies, decide on a third meeting place. outside your immediate neighborhood. Ensure everyone knows the routes to these locations and practices getting there. Now, guys, I cannot emphasize more that there's basically three major. I always try to, the rule of threes, I follow quite constantly, guys. And in this particular case, we want to talk about identifying safe meeting places. We're going to select a home and an outside location, so home and outside location, and choose a third meeting place for larger emergencies. You guys should have something in the chat about now, but I'm going to go ahead and start with identifying safe meeting places. Guys, a safe meeting place could be literally anywhere. It doesn't mean it's got to be in a bunker. It doesn't mean it's got to be behind the house. It doesn't mean it's got to be in an alleyway. It doesn't mean it's got to be at a military installation. It just needs to be a safe meeting place. And maybe if the safe meeting place could be the library, it could be the post office. Have you guys ever seen the old post offices? If you've got one in your town and it's not a shack, you know what I'm talking about. These things are bunkers, not a joke. Matter of fact, I think I'm going to go to my post office today and see if I can get them to let me look inside their basement. It's that type of town, so I might actually be able to pull it off. The next thing is select a home or a home and an outside location. So there should be more than one location. Basically, if a tornado runs through the town and your house disappears, well, you need a backup location. We're going to meet at the local diner. There's food and coffee there, and honestly, most people would go there, and it's probably a good place to find information out as well. And then choose a third meeting place for larger emergencies. Tornado came through, tore your town up. You live in a floodplain, and oh, by the way, the dam broke, or it's a 100-year flood, which just hasn't stopped raining since Noah got in his ark, that kind of thing. And so you're going to need that third meeting place for larger emergencies so that everybody knows where to go. Because in the mornings, everybody gets all this, and they all just go and they feather off into their own little lives, And then in the end of the day, they all come back in, do whatever they're going to do, and they all just go off to do their things. Johnny's playing video games at his friend's house. Sally's meeting with the girls to do a sock hop or whatever old people know. But you see what I'm saying? And then this escalates, or not escalates, but expands into adulthood where your kids are going to move out and they're going to live in other places. Maybe they live the next town over, but you should still have that third meeting place for these large emergencies so that they know, hey, mom's house just got destroyed, but we know she would go here if that happened. So making sure that you have that is always very, very smart. All right. Going off to the, where are we at here? Okay. Let's see. Big Prepper says, we eat doves around here, and pigeons are known to be bigger and of better quality meat than doves. Many people ate them throughout history. Oh yeah, I'm sure, man. Listen, if it can crawl or fly or run or swim, we've found a way to eat it. So completely understand. A little Dry Creek Ranch says we don't talk about prepping. We are more of a farm, small homestead channel. But thank you very much for the plug. Yeah, no worries. It's not like people are stealing my viewers. That's always been ridiculous and fruitless. But the goal. I always thought it was funny because the goal in the back of every prepper's brain is to be a homesteader. But homesteaders never think about prepping. They never think about storing water or long-term food storage. Their focus is to keep what they've got going. Feed the pigs, get the chickens. Grow the food, and that's how they're going to survive. But they never think about the hard times. And unfortunately, many of the farmers in America have lost everything because they didn't think about the hard times. And the government definitely didn't help them. So, all right, let's see here. Oops says, have FM transmitter and run music and info from computer like this show so I can listen on radio while out on the property. Nice. Neighbors 5 mile away can listen in too. I am not legal. Oops, you're absolutely correct. You are not legal. Let's see. Jordan says the Mason Lodge here has a nuclear bunker sign outside. I like it. You need to request a visit. You need to request a tour of that. But here's the thing: just because it's there doesn't mean it's underground or anything like that. It just means that the building was very well made. But yes, I would request a tour of that. Big Prepper says homesteading is just the end game of prepping, essentially striving for the same self-reliance. Absolutely, 100% true. Cool Colt says, yes, my local town hall is old and has an unfinished bunker in its basement. Well, I got news for you, bro. If there's a bunker, it doesn't matter if it's unfinished. It's a bunker. Let's see here. Big Prepper says, I hear these guys and around Blackstone, Virginia at 147.000. They announced Masonic Lodge meetings on Saturday for the evening every Sunday. That's very interesting. That's interesting. Ian says, oops, anything is legit until you get the knock on the door. Yeah, exactly. Tuck says, well, you got oops here. Big Prepper, we raised a pigeon to eat. Nice restaurant, sell squab for big money back in the day. Yeah, it's that French delicacy, right? Tuck says, we both understand that each meeting place has aspects. Example, chem leak, meeting in from of X building, spreading riots, meet behind X building, out of sight of traffic. Yes, that makes sense, Tuck. Rose says, do we expect the government to help us? Can't depend on it. I'm gonna do an add-in on. I'm gonna do a comment on that, Rose. Expecting them to help. I would not say that you should expect. I would not say that you should plan on them helping. What I would tell you is that the government through FEMA has plans to alleviate pressure on people who have been devastated by natural disasters. They have plans. They have money for it. They have systems to make that happen. But as usual, the government's just not very good at doing anything. And I honestly believe that at the ground level, where we're at the boots meeting the ground level of FEMA, that these people actually give a damn, that they are just trying to help people. And what I would say is that, it's kind of a trust but verify situation. I would say that you probably need to have the numbers. They have regional numbers. They have the national numbers. Have those numbers available. Know how to contact FEMA in the event of an emergency as it hits. You know what I'm saying? Give them time to settle in. They can't immediately flood the streets with trailers to live in and debit cards for hotels, and they can't immediately do that. But they can set up systems within a reasonable period of time, I would hope, that can alleviate pressure. So I would have a plan to try and utilize those things. You've paid for them. You're a U.S. taxpayer. This is it. As long as you qualify, which you definitely should qualify if you get displaced, you should have a plan to use those assets in the short term, not long term, but in the short term, so that you can get back on your feet. So let's see here. Where are we at here? Bradley says, my break room is a 50s bunker. I love it. The doors are massive, so we just leave them open, but I know they are functional. That's pretty interesting, Brad. That's pretty interesting. Let's see here. What do you do if 15 families have the same meeting place? Well, that's pretty interesting. I would say that you just created a village, and it's an opportunity to organize. That's what I would say. Cool Colt says, Bradley, that is cool. Big Prepper. Let's see. It would be pretty awkward if your meeting place is at home, then 15 other families storming in. Yeah, that would be interesting. Let's see here. Let's see. Your family just got bigger. That's funny. Tuck says Jordan O'Neill could be an opportunity to get current info. Correct. But an opportunity to get. I'm sorry, but if that is too crowded for comfort, reassess. We sometimes set empty lots, shuttered buildings, etc. for meetup. There you go. Brad says, my work, where are we at here? My work, we maintain the FEMA Indiana task force. They send a couple of us mechanics with them when they head out to maintain the equipment. Nice. Connections, my friend, connections. Big Prepper says, realistically, you want to meet away from the public, edge of the city, a gas station near the edge of town, a spot in the woods away from other buildings. Yes. And if you guys remember, it was about a week ago, I finished up with the sponsorship for Land of Land. Guys, the idea of having land, even just a small parcel, to say that's yours to meet up on, to do what you want with, is it's an unbelievably redeeming scenario where you can say, okay, guys, we're going to meet at the plot. You know what I'm saying? And now you've got a place to go. Where are we at here? Little Dry Creek Ranch says, we have a small circle of friends and a family that all have different qualities and are able to perform certain tasks. Meeting is not at any of our homes, definitely away from the public. Gotcha. Coffee time. Hope I can keep going here. That's all right. So let's go ahead and move on. Also, it looks like the Rumble chat kind of opened up a bit, even though the score is 21-11, YouTube winning. National security number hack just happened. What is needed to be done? Brian. Okay, national social security number hack. So here's what happened, Brian, just to relieve any tension that you were having, any stress that you're having. Excuse me, guys. My throat is kind of closing up a little bit here because I just did a weird cough. So it was not the Social Security system that got hacked. It was a company that handles background checks for all of the major lending institutions. It was about 2.4 million people. Their information was hacked by a organization called USDOD, which is ironic. And where it went, no one really knows. But what you need to do is to realize that if someone had your information, they could do something with it. But there's many systems that are set up specifically in your bank, in the banking system, to stop fraud. I would say pay attention to your checkbook. Nobody balances their checkbook anymore. Start doing it. That's what I would do. And if you do, don't take it personally. It's just you asked me what I should do. The next thing that I would do is you might want to look into some kind of identity theft protection. I won't name any companies because I think that they all have their pluses and minuses. But that's what I would do if I were sincerely concerned about it. So let's see here. Brian says, I use a dark web scanner to see if your social security number got hacked. There you go. I don't remember. I've had in my Jeep forever, like geocaching. You guys are just talking. Congress X bunker is at Greenbrier. Yes, that's correct. All right, let's see here. Let's see here. Where Big Prepper says Fort Campbell soldiers just pled guilty to selling military secrets to China, including defense formations and arsenals about Taiwan. I believe it. Tuck says lost our savings in a bank hack. Those systems do fail. Well, if that happened, then if they got money out of your bank account, that's the FDIC. Now they've got 25 years to pay you. But yeah, that's the thing. Also, I was talking to somebody the other day about this particular subject. If you're truly worried about these kind of things, never use your bank for anything. Just have money put in it. That way it's protected by the FDIC. And then also pay all your bills with the credit card. And then at the end of the month or the beginning of the month, whichever you prefer, just pay off the credit card. It's that easy. Don't spend more than you make, and do that. Also, all large purchases, like large, when I say large, I would say expensive purchases should never go onto a debit card. Always put it on a credit card, because if there's fraud in any way, shape, or form, then the credit companies will just write it off and fix your account. To them, it's just pushing a button. They issue you a new card. You say it's fraud. Worst case scenario, they send you a form to fill out. It's that easy. So let's see here. All right, so let's go on to the next one right here. Creating an emergency kit is another essential step. This kit, man, we are so far behind. This kit should include non-perishable food, water, first aid supplies, medications, flashlights, batteries, and any necessary documents. Store the kit in an easily accessible location known to all family members. Regularly check and update the contents to ensure everything is in working order and not expired. Consider personalizing the kit with items such as your family's needs, such as baby formula or pet food. Now, when we talk about this, the three main items are to assemble. I'm sorry, I forgot to do this. Boop. When we talk about this, the three main items are to assemble an emergency kit, include essential items like food, water, and the necessary needs. I mean, it could be anything, whatever you really want it to be. And then regularly update and personalize the kit. You should definitely be doing these things. Like I said, my house in North Carolina is in Hurricane Alley, and so I actually have like this locker box. It's an old plastic locker box that's got it's got the stove in it. It's got dry goods. It's got some canned goods in it. It's got locks for locking up the generator. Because you obviously got to bring it outside to use it. Just the things that I need for a hurricane. It's got a board game in it. It's very minimalistic, but it's exactly what I need for when a hurricane comes and knocks all the power out. Because that box is probably going to get me through the first 24 hours. No problem whatsoever. Basically it brings back all the things that the hurricane eliminated. All right. And then we also need to talk about the fact that you need to plan for unique needs of your family members, and you need to consider special requirements of infants, elderly relatives, and those with disabilities or chronic illnesses. Yeah, you need to make sure you have enough supplies, such as medications or mobility aids, to last for an extended period. Ensure that everyone's needs are addressed in your emergency plan, and that you know how to use any special equipment. This consideration can make a significant difference in an emergency situation. I guess the three major components to think about are: you need to plan for unique family needs. You need to include supplies for infants and the elderly, if you have them in your group, and then you need to ensure everyone knows how to use special equipment. When I say special equipment, it could be anyway. It could be grandma's oxygen ventilator. It could be anything, guys. But everybody needs to know how to use that special equipment. Where are we at here? Let me see if there's anything in the chat from one of the members. Let's see here. All right, looks like there's Bradley. Bradley, what are we doing? Absolutely. Why use your money when you can use theirs? 100%. I'm not a fan of credit cards, guys, but there are certain protections that are offered by credit cards that are not offered by your bank. And that's sad. You would think that would be the number one protection that you had. You would think you'd have to argue with the credit card companies, but that's not the case. It's not the case. All right, let's see here. You need to make sure that you educate your children about emergency preparedness without causing fear. Use age-appropriate language to explain the importance of the plan and what they should do in different scenarios. You should practice drills regularly to help them feel more comfortable and confident. Ensure they know how to dial emergency numbers. I mean, we've all We've all heard about that kid who saved somebody's life because he called 911, but ensure they know how to dial emergency numbers and who to call if they need help. You need to reinforce the idea that being prepared is a way to stay safe. And the three takeaways from this particular one is that you need to educate children appropriately, not throw it down their throats, not doom and gloom, little by little, piece by piece, and the importance of preparedness. You need to practice drills regularly, probably once a month at least, even to nauseam if necessary, and then back off. And then you also need to teach them how to dial their emergency numbers. Literally, I've said this before, make a list, put it on the fridge, and you're done. If you've got kids that live away from you, take it to them with a magnet and stick it to their fridge and walk away. It's that easy. It's that easy. Plan executed. Let's see here. The money system will create is to collapse when they want to collapse. Gotcha, bro. Gotcha. West Virginia Pappy says extra clothing. And then moving on, we also need to include plans for your pets in your emergency preparations. Ensure that your emergency kit has food, water, and other supplies for your pets. Identify pet-friendly shelters or hotels in case you need to evacuate. Make sure your pets have identification tags and consider microchipping them. Prepare a list of pet care instructions in case you are separated from your pets during the emergency. And the key takeaways from that one are to plan for pet care. Guys, if you have a pet, you have a responsibility. If your plan is just to leave the animal in the case of an apocalypse, I get it. It's the apocalypse. But if it's just a hurricane, I mean, come on. I know people that put X's on their horse, purple X's on their horses, and whatever the weather does, the weather does. And I know people that have spray painted their phone numbers on their horses. Then they get a call after the hurricane comes, and then they come and get their horse. And so that's logical because you're not taking it to the hotel with you. But if you have, pets that, dogs, cats, mice, whatever it is, then you have a responsibility. You need to make sure that you include your pet supplies in your kit. And you also need to identify pet-friendly shelters or hotels. You need to know where these places are because if you think that you're going to run, that's the last thing you want to be trying to figure out. And God knows you don't want to figure out that you've made a reservation at a hotel that's 4 towns over. Get there and find out that they don't take animals. Just saying. Okay, let's see here. Make sure that you stay informed about potential emergencies in your area. Sign up for local alerts and weather notifications to receive real-time information. Familiarize yourself with community emergency plans and evacuation routes. Participate in local emergency preparedness events and workshops. Staying informed and involved in your community's preparedness efforts can provide valuable information and resources. What I'm going to say about this is that sign up for those local alerts, guys. There's so many of them. There are some that are local to a town. You can get on the town's website and sign up for those local alerts, and they'll come right to your phone. They'll be emailed to you if something is wrong. There are weather alerts from certain apps. There are weather alerts from NOAA. There's weather alerts from OSHA. There are all sorts of local, state, federal, county, municipal alert systems that you can have pumped right to your phone that lets you know. I have one that tells me it's a red flag alert for when lightning and thunderstorms are happening over the property in North Carolina. Because that's normally indicative of flooding. So that will fire up on my phone whenever that happens, The next thing is no community emergency plans. Guys, if you're not part of the solution, you're part of the problem, and I'm going to leave it right there. Also, participate in preparedness events. Now, this one is strictly voluntary, but if your preparedness event is more hometowny, then I would recommend you get involved in it. All right, let's see here. And then finally, let's go ahead and get on the last one here. Review and update your family emergency plan regularly. I would recommend at least every 6 months. Or if something has changed in your environment that requires the plan to be updated. Nobody writes this stuff down. Nobody talks about it. They just expect it to happen. And that, my friends, is not preparedness. So as your family grows and changes, your plan should evolve to meet new needs. Schedule an annual review to update contact information, emergency kits, and any other relevant details. Involve all family members in this process to keep everyone engaged and aware. Regular updates ensure that your plan remains effective and that everyone is prepared. Now, the big three on that one is to make sure that you review and update the plan regularly. But first, you better write one down. Think about it, write it down, and then present it to the family. And then once you guys got it right, then you want to review it at least once a year. I recommend once every 6 months. You also need to make sure that you involve all of your family members in this process. I know too many families that have family meetings and then one decides, I don't want to be there anymore, and they disappear. And so they don't really become part of the plan, or you actually have to learn to plan around them because you know that person is going to show up when the time isn't so great for them, when the Starbucks are closed, or when something happens to them so that now they need you. So involve as many family members as possible, and then obviously schedule the annual reviews to make sure that you are effective. Let's see here. Going to the chat real quick here. Bradley says, absolutely why use their money when you can use theirs. I think I did that one already. Cole Coach says, I've recently had to revise my plan to include my daughter being away at college. Yes, exactly. Things change, guys. The world is always rotating, whether we like it or not. Oops says, oh my God, Starbucks closed. Oh no. Yeah, they just put a new one in the in the town that I'm outside of in North Carolina. And I was like, whatever, dude, I'll drive right past that sucker. West Virginia Pappy says, just got an alert for possible volatile thunderstorms here today. Always good to know. Stay in the know, guys. Stay in the nose. Okay, so stay in the nose. Stay in the know, K-N-O-W. So closing out the poll, 17 votes. What is the most crucial step in creating a family emergency plan for preppers? Assigning family roles. That is the correct answer. You guys got a gold star today. Setting a meeting point. That's a good one, but not the most important. Stocking up on supplies. You definitely need to have them. And identifying escape routes, which was 0, even though that's technically not part of a family emergency plan. So glad you guys didn't fall for that one. Let's see here. Lily, my wife would be so upset. I got you. Okay. So, as usual, guys, you guys get an hour. I want to say, make sure that on your way out the door, you guys hit that thumbs up button. It really does help the channel. As usual, if you want to support the channel, there are links in the descriptions. And I recommend that if you are still a Patreon, to roll over onto the YouTube membership side. Also, if you want to become a YouTube member and you want the full run, if you guys want access to pretty much everything, that you've got to be a Doomsday Prepper. If you want to support the channel at $1.99, I appreciate it, but you're getting his emojis, shout outs and a little green thing next to your name saying, hey, I gave him $1.99. So I recommend that you do that. A lot of people are rolling in. Actually, it's getting hard to figure out who's who these days, but it is happening and it is appreciated. The Patreon will be closing in the month of November. So FYI, if you're watching this late, now you know that. All right, guys, as usual, stay safe. Have a great weekend, and I shall see you when I see you. Bye-bye.